There is some other news. That mainly appears on the front page of the Daily Telegraph amongst a couple of others. Greece could leave the euro, says IMF chief Isabel.
Yes, this is the sort of strongest comments yet on the possibility of a Grexit by Christine Lagarde, who's the head of the IMF.
And this affected the markets today, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also got really interesting political implications for, not wanting to bring this straight back to Britain straight away, but for Britain's renegotiation with the European Union. Some EU leaders and finance ministers have been linking the two, saying that given having to reshape the Eurozone around Greece at the moment, actually now is quite a good opportunity for Britain to start thinking about its own changes.
And I was over in Athens last week, and one of the weirdest things over there is, despite all this, Syriza's popularity, the left-wing government over there, is holding up pretty well. And people don't want a Grexit. They don't want to leave the euro, but more than that, they're really desperate not to lose their benefits, their generous pensions, all their nice, the nice Greek way of working, basically. So it seems that while they definitely don't want to leave the euro, they're more protective of those benefits than anything else, and that was sort of the thing I got from talking to people again and again.
And Syriza are also still influencing politics in other countries like Spain, aren't they? The austerity, the anti-austerity support, the anti-austerity parties are still getting that support, even though Syriza haven't had that much success so far.
Yeah, well, but Syriza, they're offering an alternative. They're offering a protest vote, and it's the same sort of thing that you can see in UKIP over here or something like that. It's an alternate outlet for that anger that you just feel that the mainstream isn't listening to you.
I first saw this on BBC News today while having my chicken pesto, which wasn't great. Killer bug in your chicken, shoppers warned make sure food is properly cooked. This is the lead story in the Daily Express. This is this horrible bug that's been found in our chickens.
Yes, this is Campylobacter, which is found in many chickens. And I suppose the warning to cook your chicken thoroughly is not particularly new, but one of the things I've always thought, I keep chickens, and actually the conditions in which most commercial chickens are farmed are pretty terrible, and if most British people knew the way in which chickens were kept, they probably wouldn't buy chicken as often as they do, and they probably wouldn't be surprised by the spread of Campylobacter, given the disgusting conditions that chickens are kept in barns with no natural light, wandering around in their own droppings the whole time. Just to really cheer you up about your chicken sandwich.
I don't think many
tomorrow.
of us like to think where our meat comes from, though. I mean, I'm one of those people where I don't like to see a carcass anyway. I don't like to see... I like my fish's head cut off in restaurants. I love my meat, and a lot of people who do love their meat don't really like to see where it comes from. We don't like to be reminded of this, do we?
But that's because we don't really want to confront the fact that often our meat is from really bad conditions. Actually, if you see animals farmed properly and responsibly, then that's you don't worry so much about the fact that their lives will end in a kind of human-controlled way because they've had a nice, happy life in a field.
Are you a vegetarian?
No. I would eat my chickens if they weren't so good at laying eggs. So
what about you? Does it put you off eating chicken?
Well, having come from a farming family on one side of my family, my uncle investigating farming chickens, and him, who's not one to be squeamish, being put off by the conditions that he saw in those sheds, those sort of half-mile-long sheds with 20,000 birds inside. Yeah, I've always been a bit funny about it as a result after that.
This is the single most common cause of food poisoning, so it could be the chicken if you've been feeling unwell. We're going to do it again at 11:30. Much more papers and more stories to talk about. Thank you for that. Do join us.